Maybe you felt like this too. You got the job you wanted, you achieved that goal. Now you're building your career, you've been working really hard. Now you have your dream job. And with that, you expect stability and also clarity. You follow the path that everyone has been told. Go to school, get the good job, keep building, keep climbing. The title will come, pay will come, and so will recognition. And let's say you get there. And despite all the external success, you still feel a disconnect. For a lot of people, this issue comes down to burnout. But sometimes there's more. Sometimes it's a gap that you're realizing between your reality and the life that you imagine for yourself. So in theory, you have everything. You're here, you've arrived. But deep inside, you're asking yourself, is this it? Is this everything? Because at the end of the day, you feel like you're living on repeat. If you've experienced this, then you know that at some point you'll come to a breaking point. And I've experienced this. It's that moment where the desire for some type of change outweighs any fear you have or any overthinking that you're doing about other possibilities. For me, it was realizing I was in a situation that was not only materializing as burnout, but it was also knowing that deep down inside, there was something that was truly important to me, and this continued to be a gap. As someone who considers myself to be a creative person, the most painful question I would get from people who knew and learned that I enjoy art is, when was the last time you did a painting? With each month, with each year of working, when things got more and more busy, it was just harder for me to find the time to create artwork. Harder and harder for me to get from all of my corporate to-dos and wind down to pick up my paintbrush and sit down and think creatively about bringing a piece of artwork to life. And I've also had a desire for a long time to help people, to have some kind of impact in the world. And although I never really knew early on exactly what this could look like, at the very least, I knew it involved helping people in some way. So once I realized I wasn't doing that, something that I was able to name before, but my actions weren't aligned with that, it was really in that moment that I knew something had to change, something had to shift. And I asked for a sabbatical. It wasn't a sabbatical to get away, to escape, but it was truly something to be intentional, to pause, and have time to think through exactly what I wanted. It allowed me to focus on my health. It allowed me to reconnect with the things that were important to me, the people that were important to me, and the activities and interests that I had. That all sounds nice, but it was not a perfect plan. But it was an urgent call for me to listen to myself and to start doing the work to make change from the inside. This was truly a chance to make a conscious decision, to take control and rewrite my story. I gave myself permission to question everything: my work, the pace, what I value, and also the direction that I wanted to take. How did I want to spend my time? Do I want to get started on having an impact today? Do I want to make sure I tap into my creativity and I don't keep it on the shelf waiting for one day? One thing to realize is that transformation is a journey, and it can be a long one, but it really starts with small, intentional steps. And these steps are sometimes very scary. It was scary to make the decision to take a sabbatical and step away. What if the answer was no? What if it impacted my career negatively? And what would everyone think? Would people think I'm giving up? I'm not dedicated? There were lots of questions going through my head, but I knew I needed this time. And so in many ways, my sabbatical became a launch pad. It allowed me to reflect. I got a chance to think about what truly energizes me. What are the things that I value? And during that time, I also got clarity. What type of impact do I want to make? And how do I want to go about making that impact? Career and life pivots can lead to all types of change. I've seen it when I went from audit to consulting. I've seen it when I went from a client-facing consulting role to an internal role. I've also experienced it when I shifted my time, moved my time around in a way that allowed me to do a lot of these things that I say I value. If my actions weren't lining up with what I say is important to me, is it really important to me? So I had to make time for art, to go to sketch club. I said I wanted to get my health and wellness back on track, so I made time to run. I made sure I showed up for Run Club. I trained and ran a half marathon. And because I wanted to help people, I set aside time to mentor, to coach, to give talks, set up one-on-one sessions, set up group workshops. I made sure I found ways to deliver on the things that I say are important to me. And I made that decision to start then, to not wait until tomorrow, but to start in that moment. Maybe you've heard the quote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." And I decided to take that first step. My journey was built on a foundation of curiosity and to achieve alignment. One thing it was not built on was certainty, because I had no idea how everything would turn out. So what are some truths that I learned from this? One is that it's never too late to be what you might have been. A quote from George Eliot. So many times we feel pressured to stay the course simply because we started on a particular journey and we've invested time and effort. But reinvention is not failure. Sometimes it's growth. You're never too old, you're never too far in, and you're never not qualified to pivot and start something new. Another quote that you might have heard is that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. No matter what doubts you have in your head, the present is still powerful. Another great quote that I like is by Maya Angelou, and it says, "Success is liking who you are, liking what you do, and liking how you do it." I love it because it gives us so much room to reinvent, to recreate, to make things exactly how we want it to be, to redefine success in a way that makes sense to us. And if that means including peace, including your values, your interests, your purpose, your authenticity, you can do that. We often wait for permission to be able to do things, but there's a lot of things, a lot of actions that are within our control. We simply have to make up our mind, decide on it, and take those actions. These are the types of actions that can help you achieve your goals, get aligned to your values, and ultimately become a better version of yourself. But, of course, it starts with you making that choice. So if you're feeling stuck, behind, or unsure, consider this your permission slip. You're not too late, but you might be in a chapter that's asking for change. Reinvention starts not with a full plan, but with a decision. Start with the mindset shift. Believe you can make a change and visualize yourself getting there. If there's something that's on your mind to do, identify one small step that you can take today. And once you have that step, I want you to share it down in the comments. Let's encourage each other. So a few reminders. Life is yours for you to create. Be willing and open to change. Embrace it. And take control of your own narrative. Don't let anyone write your story for you. Change is never easy, but I truly believe that you've got this. You're not stuck. Don't fall into that mindset. You're simply one decision away from a different trajectory. It's not too late to start. It's not too late to change. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments. Watch another video while you're here, and I'll see you in the next one.